Hey everyone, welcome back to Stoic Mindset Philosophy. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video with anyone who could benefit from it. Today we're diving into something that impacts all of us: bad habits and toxic mindsets. The truth is, we all struggle with these. But the good news is that Stoicism offers powerful tools to overcome them and transform our lives for the better. We all have moments where we feel trapped by bad habits or negative thinking patterns. These habits and mindsets can creep into our lives in many forms, like procrastination, self-doubt, perfectionism, people-pleasing, or seeking constant external validation. We may tell ourselves that we want to change, but somehow it feels like we're stuck, repeating the same mistakes over and over. And the longer we continue with these unhealthy habits, the harder it becomes to break free from them. But here's where Stoicism comes into play. Because Stoic philosophy offers us a map for navigating life's challenges, teaching us how to transform not just our actions, but our very mindset. Let's take a moment to reflect. How many times have you told yourself, "I should do this," or "I'll start tomorrow," but ended up procrastinating? Or how often do you find yourself consumed by fear of failure or judgment, holding you back from pursuing your true potential? The Stoics believe that it's not the external world that creates these feelings, but the way we interpret and react to the world around us. What happens to us, how others treat us, and even our own failures are all things beyond our control. What we can control, however, is how we think and respond to these events. As we frequently learned the hard way, this is the first key insight from Stoicism: the power of perception. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, we are disturbed not by what happens to us, but by our thoughts about what happens to us. This simple yet profound idea teaches us that we are not at the mercy of our circumstances, no matter how difficult life may get. It is our thoughts, our interpretation of those circumstances, that determine how we feel and how we act. Therefore, changing our mindset is the first step toward transforming our lives. So how do we start to change our mindset and begin overcoming bad habits? It starts with awareness, the ability to recognize when we're falling into negative thinking patterns and unhealthy habits. But how can we become more aware of these patterns? By practicing mindful reflection every day. The Stoics believed that daily reflection was vital for personal growth. One of the core Stoic practices was keeping a journal, where you reflect on your actions, thoughts, and behaviors. This practice not only allows you to understand where you're going wrong, but it also helps you gain clarity on what truly matters in your life. So next time you find yourself feeling overwhelmed by negative thoughts, take a step back. Ask yourself, is this thought based on reality? Am I imagining something worse than it really is? Often our negative thoughts are just distortions of reality. We create worst-case scenarios in our minds that aren't actually true. By questioning these thoughts and reframing them, we start to take away their power. For example, if you think, "I'll never be successful," challenge that thought with the reality: I am on a journey, and every failure is a step toward success. By recognizing the negative thoughts, we begin to neutralize them and take control of our reactions. Actions in our lives can easily take a turn for the positive and maybe even inspire us. But awareness alone isn't enough. Stoicism teaches us that it's not just about recognizing the negative thoughts, but about taking action to improve them. This is where the concept of self-discipline comes in. The Stoics believe that our ability to act in line with our values and resist impulsive behavior is what truly defines our character. We all have the ability to choose, moment by moment, whether we will engage in a bad habit or cultivate a good one. The key is deliberate practice and consistency. Take procrastination, for example. It's easy to fall into the trap of putting things off because of fear of failure or the overwhelming feeling of having too much to do. But Stoicism teaches us that the fear of failure is just an illusion, an obstacle that only holds us back if we allow it to. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." When we break tasks down into smaller, manageable pieces and focus only on the present moment, we can overcome the paralyzing effects of procrastination. Each small step we take moves us closer to overcoming these habits, but we must start somewhere. Now let's talk about self-retrieve, another cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. Habits are formed through repetition, so every time we indulge in a bad habit, we reinforce it. But each time we choose not to engage in the negative behavior, we build mental resilience. For example, if you're trying to stop checking your phone every 5 minutes, practice a small act of self-discipline by deciding to focus on something productive for just 10 minutes without distractions. You'll be amazed at how quickly your willpower muscles grow stronger. But don't expect perfection. Remember that Stoicism encourages us to forgive ourselves when we slip up. We are human after all. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, reminded us that the journey of self-improvement is a lifelong practice. There is no final destination. Instead, the goal is to keep moving forward, learning from our mistakes, and striving to be better each day. Ultimately, the path to overcoming bad habits and toxic mindsets begins with self-awareness and self-retreat. By practicing these Stoic principles consistently, we can transform our thinking, change our behavior, and build a life that aligns with our true values. The Stoics teach us that it's not about being perfect. It's about becoming the best version of ourselves, one step at a time. In the next part, we will explore practical ways to break the cycle of negative thoughts and build positive, empowering habits that align with Stoic philosophy. Stay tuned. This journey is just getting started, and the transformation is within your reach. Welcome back to Stoic Mindset Philosophy. If you're still here, remember to subscribe, like, and share this video with anyone who might benefit from learning how to overcome bad habits and toxic mindsets using the power of Stoicism. In Part 1, we laid the groundwork by discussing how awareness and self-retreat can help us break free from negative thinking patterns. Now, in this part, we're diving deeper into practical strategies to transform your mindset and develop empowering habits that lead to a more fulfilling life. So let's begin by asking ourselves an important question. How do we take all these Stoic principles and apply them daily? The answer is through practical action. It's one thing to understand the philosophy, but it's another to live it. The Stoics believed that philosophy is meant to be lived, not just discussed or studied. And one of the best ways to live Stoicism is by cultivating the right daily habits that align with our values and help us overcome negativity. The first habit we're going to focus on is the Stoic practice of negative visualization. This might sound counterintuitive at first, but trust me, it's incredibly powerful. Negative visualization involves imagining worst-case scenarios, not to dwell in fear or anxiety, but to prepare ourselves mentally for any challenges life may throw our way. By consciously thinking about the things that could go wrong, we begin to accept the possibility of failure, loss, or difficulty, and thus we're no longer controlled by the fear of these events. In fact, by confronting them mentally before they happen, we're less likely to be shaken when we actually face adversity. For example, let's say you're struggling with self-doubt. Instead of avoiding the idea of failure, use negative visualization to imagine what it would feel like if you failed at something. Visualize how you would handle it, what steps you would take to move forward, and how you would learn from the experience. This exercise allows you to stop fearing failure and start seeing it as a natural part of the journey. Failure isn't the end, it's simply a stepping stone toward growth. Another powerful Stoic practice that can help you overcome bad habits is self-reflection. The Stoics were keen on daily reflection as a means of tracking personal progress and gaining insight into their actions. At the end of each day, they would ask themselves questions like, did I act in alignment with my values today? Did I let external events disturb my peace? And how could I have done better? This kind of self-inquiry allows you to assess your behavior, identify negative patterns, and make adjustments accordingly. By taking time each day to reflect on your actions, you'll become more mindful of the choices you're making. For instance, if you realize that you've fallen into the habit of people-pleasing or seeking external validation, you can use reflection to acknowledge this behavior and consciously choose to act differently moving forward. Reflection gives us the power to change our behavior consciously, rather than being led by unconscious habits and impulses. Now, let's talk about the power of self-discipline. One of the most important aspects of Stoicism is the cultivation of inner strength. The Stoics believed that self-discipline is not just about restricting ourselves, but about aligning our actions with our highest values. To develop self-discipline, you must first define your values. What is truly important to you in life? Is it personal growth? Is it cultivating meaningful relationships? Is it financial independence or health? Once you've identified your core values, make sure that your actions are in alignment with them. For example, if you value health, but find yourself constantly indulging in unhealthy food, procrastinating on exercise, or neglecting sleep, it's time to develop self-discipline in those areas. The Stoics taught that true freedom comes from self-restraint, not indulgence. If you desire to live a fulfilling life, you must exercise discipline in all aspects of your behavior. A practical way to implement self-discipline is by breaking down your goals into smaller, manageable tasks and focusing on completing them one step at a time. If you're trying to develop a habit of exercising daily, for instance, start by committing to just 10 minutes a day. Don't overwhelm yourself by setting unrealistic goals. By starting small, you'll create a positive feedback loop that encourages you to continue. Consistency is key. The more you stick to your daily habits, the stronger your self-discipline will become, and eventually you'll start to embrace these habits as a part of your lifestyle. At the heart of Stoic practice is the concept of control, understanding what is within our control and what is not. Stoicism teaches that we should focus only on the things we can control and let go of everything else. This can be incredibly liberating because it helps us stop worrying about things that are outside of our influence. For instance, if you're constantly stressed about other people's opinions of you, remind yourself that you cannot control what others think. The only thing you can control is your own response. By focusing on what's within your control, you'll be able to release the pressure of external expectations and build a more peaceful, resilient mindset. Mindful acceptance is another Stoic practice that plays a major role in overcoming bad habits. It's the ability to accept things as they are, without resistance, and to recognize that many of the difficulties we face in life are inevitable. For example, we all experience discomfort, frustration, and setbacks. But instead of resisting these feelings, Stoicism teaches us to embrace them as part of the human experience. By practicing mindful acceptance, we free ourselves from the constant struggle to avoid discomfort and allow ourselves to move forward with grace, even in the face of challenges. So, to recap the main strategies we've covered in this part: negative visualization, prepare for the worst, to embrace the best; daily self-reflection, check in with your actions and choices; self-discipline, align your actions with your values; focus on what you can control, let go of external worries; mindful acceptance, embrace life's challenges as opportunities for growth. In the next part, we'll explore how to build even more powerful habits and mindsets that will help you not only break free from bad habits, but also become a better version of yourself. Stay tuned, and let's continue this journey toward a more fulfilling, Stoic-inspired life. Welcome back to Stoic Mindset Philosophy. I hope you found the first two parts of this video helpful. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, like, and share this video with anyone who could benefit from it. We're all on a journey of self-improvement, and learning from Stoicism can help us overcome the toxic habits and mindsets that hold us back. In part 2, we discussed some practical Stoic strategies, like negative visualization, self-reflection, self-discipline, and focus on what's within your control, to help you get started on transforming your habits. But the journey doesn't stop there. Now let's dive deeper into building even more empowering habits and strengthening your Stoic mindset for long-lasting change. First, let's talk about the importance of embracing discomfort. The Stoics believed that growth comes from discomfort, and that the more we challenge ourselves, the stronger we become. Think about it. How often do we avoid difficult situations simply because they're uncomfortable? We procrastinate, delay, or avoid things because we fear the discomfort of starting, failing, or facing an obstacle. But Stoicism teaches us that discomfort is a tool for growth. Every time we step outside our comfort zone, we become more resilient, more adaptable, and more capable of handling life's challenges. A great way to put this into practice is by intentionally seeking small discomforts each day. For example, you could start by taking cold showers, committing to doing something that scares you, or engaging in a difficult conversation you've been avoiding. These actions may seem small, but over time they build your tolerance for discomfort and increase your ability to stay focused and composed when bigger challenges arise. Stoics understood that we cannot control the external world, but we can control how we respond to it. And when we face discomfort head-on, we become stronger and more grounded in our ability to respond with composure and wisdom. Next, let's talk about building a habit of gratitude. One of the most powerful Stoic practices is practicing gratitude daily. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, often wrote about the importance of appreciating the present moment and being thankful for the good things in life. In fact, he would start his day by thanking the universe for the gift of life and the opportunities it brought. Gratitude is a simple yet profound practice that can completely shift your mindset. When we focus on what we're grateful for, we stop fixating on what we lack or what's going wrong. Gratitude brings us into the present moment and allows us to appreciate the simple pleasures of life, even when things aren't perfect. Take a moment each day to reflect on at least 3 things you're grateful for. It could be something as simple as a warm cup of coffee, the support of a loved one, or the opportunity to work on your personal growth. When you make gratitude a regular habit, you'll find that it becomes easier to focus on the positive, even when life presents challenges. Gratitude shifts your perspective, helping you break free from the trap of toxic thinking and see life as an opportunity for growth. Another critical Stoic habit is the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness is the ability to stay present and aware of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. It's about observing your internal state without judgment or attachment. The Stoics taught that we should always be mindful of our thoughts because they shape our actions and determine our happiness. According to Epictetus, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. By being mindful, we gain the ability to observe our thoughts and choose whether to engage with them or let them pass. A powerful way to practice mindfulness is by focusing on your breath. When you feel overwhelmed by negative thoughts or emotions, take a few minutes to sit in silence and focus on your breathing. Inhale deeply and exhale slowly, bringing your attention to the present moment. You'll find that this simple exercise can help you detach from negative thought patterns and regain a sense of calm and clarity. Practicing mindfulness regularly not only helps you break free from toxic mindsets, but it also improves your ability to respond thoughtfully to challenges instead of reacting impulsively. Now, let's turn to the concept of embracing imperfection. As human beings, we often strive for perfection, thinking that if we just do things perfectly, we'll finally feel good enough. However, this constant pursuit of perfection is not only unrealistic, but it also feeds into negative mindsets like perfectionism and self-doubt. The Stoics believe that it's not about being perfect, it's about being resilient, learning from mistakes, and embracing our flaws as part of our human nature. Embrace imperfection, knowing that we can always strive to improve, but that perfection is unattainable. The goal isn't to be flawless, it's to learn and grow from our mistakes. This mindset can be a game changer when it comes to breaking bad habits and toxic thinking. Instead of beating yourself up when you make a mistake, see it as an opportunity for growth. Failure is not the end, it's a lesson that brings you closer to wisdom. With this perspective, you'll find that you're much more willing to take risks, try new things, and push past your fears because you understand that mistakes are part of the process. You'll also begin to let go of the fear of judgment, as you realize that everyone is imperfect, and the goal is simply to be better than you were yesterday. One last habit that can help you break free from a toxic mindset is developing a sense of purpose. The Stoics believed that we should live in alignment with our higher purpose or virtues. This purpose could be anything that brings meaning to your life, whether it's personal growth, helping others, contributing to your community, or pursuing your passions. When you live with a sense of purpose, it becomes easier to overcome negative thoughts and self-destructive habits. You'll be driven by something greater than fleeting pleasures or external validation. To discover your purpose, ask yourself, what truly matters to me? What do I want my life to stand for? When you're clear on your purpose, you'll find it much easier to make choices that align with your values and contribute to the greater good. In summary, here are the key Stoic habits we've discussed so far. Embrace discomfort. Growth comes from facing challenges head-on. Practice daily gratitude. Shift your focus to the positive aspects of life. And practice mindfulness. Be aware of your thoughts and reactions. Embrace imperfection. Learn from mistakes. Don't aim for perfection. Develop a sense of purpose. Live with intention and align with your core values. In Part 4, we will dive deeper into building mental resilience and staying consistent in our efforts to change. Stay tuned for more practical Stoic wisdom, and remember that the power to change is within you. Welcome back to Stoic Mindset Philosophy. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with friends who are on the same journey of personal growth and self-improvement. We've covered a lot already, but today we're going to take a deeper dive into building mental resilience and staying consistent in our Stoic journey. In Part 3, we talked about embracing discomfort, practicing gratitude, mindfulness, and imperfection, as well as discovering your higher purpose. These Stoic habits are designed to help you break free from toxic thinking and replace them with more empowering actions. But here's the thing: change doesn't happen overnight. It requires consistent effort, and most importantly, the resilience to keep going even when things get tough. Mental resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, failures, and challenges. It's the strength to keep moving forward despite the obstacles that inevitably come your way. The Stoics believed that resilience wasn't something you were born with. It's something you build over time through deliberate practice. One of the most powerful Stoic teachings about resilience comes from Marcus Aurelius, who once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that every obstacle, every challenge you face is an opportunity for growth. Instead of seeing setbacks as something that holds you back, the Stoic mindset encourages you to see them as stepping stones to greater strength and wisdom. When you encounter difficulty, don't run from it. Embrace it, learn from it, and use it to move forward. Let's put this into perspective. Think about a time in your life when things didn't go as planned. Maybe you failed at something or faced a huge setback. How did you react? Did you let the situation define you, or did you choose to grow from it? The Stoics would encourage you to reframe your perspective. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this experience?" This shift in mindset helps you to see challenges not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to build your mental toughness. One of the ways you can build mental resilience is by developing a strong sense of discipline. This is a core principle in Stoicism. Discipline is what allows you to stay consistent in your efforts, even when you don't feel like it. It's what helps you get up and keep going, even when the road seems tough. A strong sense of discipline is rooted in self-restraint and the ability to manage your thoughts and actions, no matter what's happening around you. Discipline isn't about forcing yourself to do something. It's about developing the self-mastery to act in alignment with your goals and values, even when external circumstances are difficult. For example, let's say you're trying to form a new habit, like waking up early every day. It might feel hard at first, and you might be tempted to hit the snooze button. But by practicing self-discipline, you can train your mind to overcome that temptation and take action that aligns with your long-term vision. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus emphasized the importance of self-discipline when he said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." What this means is that discipline allows you to focus on what truly matters and ignore distractions that steer you off course. Whether it's sticking to a daily workout routine, reading more, or spending time with loved ones, discipline helps you stay on track, even when the world around you is filled with noise and distractions. But let's be real, discipline isn't always easy, especially when life throws unexpected challenges your way. The Stoics understood that no matter how committed we are to our goals, there will always be moments of weakness, doubt, and temptation. The key is to stay committed to your purpose and remind yourself of your why. What motivates you to change? What drives you to become a better version of yourself each day? When you keep these questions at the forefront of your mind, it becomes easier to push through tough moments and stay on the path of growth. Now let's talk about embracing small daily actions that build resilience and consistency over time. The Stoic practice of progress, not perfection, is key here. Stoicism teaches us that we don't have to be perfect. We simply need to be better than we were yesterday. This mindset can be incredibly powerful because it allows us to focus on small wins instead of feeling overwhelmed by big goals. For example, if your goal is to read more, you don't need to set an unrealistic target of finishing a book every week. Start by reading just 10-15 pages a day. If you're trying to improve your physical health, don't aim to run a marathon immediately. Start with a short walk or a 15-minute workout. These small actions may seem insignificant at first, but over time they build momentum and result in big changes. The beauty of this approach is that small habits compound. If you commit to a little bit of progress every day, you'll be amazed at how much you've achieved over time. This is where the power of consistency comes in. Consistency is the key to long-term success, and by focusing on daily actions instead of quick fixes, you're building a foundation for sustainable change. Consistency also plays a role in developing your mental toughness. The more consistently you show up for yourself, the more resilient you become. You learn to trust the process, even when results don't come immediately. You develop patience and perseverance, knowing that real change takes time. Just as the Stoics taught, it's not about quick success. It's about staying on the path and doing what's right, even when the results aren't visible right away. One thing that can also help you stay consistent is the practice of self-compassion. It's easy to get frustrated with ourselves when we don't see immediate results or when we slip up. But the Stoics understood that self-compassion is essential for personal growth. Instead of beating yourself up for mistakes, acknowledge them and move on. Remember, failure is not the end. It's part of the journey. Show yourself kindness and remind yourself that growth is a process, not an overnight transformation. Lastly, let's touch on the concept of embracing patience. The Stoics believed that patience is an essential virtue for mental resilience. In today's fast-paced world, we often expect instant results. But the Stoic mindset teaches us to have patience and trust that things will unfold in their own time. Whether it's building new habits or overcoming challenges, patience allows you to stay steady and focused on the long-term goal without getting discouraged by setbacks. To wrap up Part 4, here are the key takeaways. Mental resilience is built through challenges. Embrace obstacles and use them to grow. Discipline is essential for consistency and staying on track with your goals. Small daily actions lead to big changes over time. Don't aim for perfection, just progress. Self-compassion is key. Don't beat yourself up for mistakes, learn from them. Patience is essential. Trust the process and remain steady on your path to growth. In Part 5, we'll explore how to stay focused and motivated for the long haul, as well as how to evaluate your progress. Stay tuned and keep working toward a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. Be welcome to the final part of our journey into motivation and self-improvement through Stoicism, here at Stoic Mindset. Philosophically, by now you've learned how to combat toxic habits and negative thinking, embrace the Stoic virtues of resilience and discipline, and create a solid foundation of daily practices that will lead to long-term growth. But now, the real challenge begins. How do you stay focused, stay motivated, and continue progressing over time? The first step is to evaluate your progress regularly. Too often we get so caught up in the day-to-day grind that we forget to step back and assess how far we've come. Whether you're trying to build new habits, develop mental toughness, or reach a specific goal, it's essential to track your progress. Journaling, as many Stoics did, is a powerful tool to reflect on your growth and keep yourself accountable. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, was known for his personal writings and self-reflection. His journal, known as Meditations, wasn't a book written for others, but rather his personal reflections to keep himself on track with his Stoic practice. In it, he would frequently remind himself of the importance of self-improvement and staying focused on what really mattered. The habit of journaling his thoughts allowed him to process his emotions, evaluate his progress, and refine his approach to life's challenges. You don't need to have a journal like Marcus Aurelius, but you can certainly incorporate this practice into your life. At the end of each day or week, ask yourself, what went well today? What did I struggle with? How can I improve tomorrow? This form of self-reflection is an important step in tracking your growth. It helps you stay accountable, identify areas that need improvement, and recognize your successes, even the small ones. By doing this regularly, you'll develop a deeper understanding of your habits and progress, and gain the clarity needed to adjust your approach moving forward. Now, let's talk about staying focused on your goals. One of the main reasons people give up on their personal development journey is a lack of focus. With so many distractions in today's world, it's easy to lose sight of what really matters, whether it's work, relationships, or the constant pull of social media. Focus is something we must cultivate intentionally. The Stoics taught us that focus is a choice. They believed that you have the power to direct your attention to what's important, no matter what's going on around you. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This means that you have the ability to decide where your attention goes. If you're constantly reacting to external stimuli, you'll be like a leaf blowing in the wind, carried in different directions. But if you take control of your focus, you can remain grounded in your purpose. A great way to practice focus is to adopt the power of no mindset. This doesn't mean saying no to everything, but rather saying no to things that distract you from your goals. For example, if you're trying to develop a new habit, say no to the temptations that pull you away from it. Maybe that means turning off your phone during your work time, or saying no to social activities that interfere with your priorities. By practicing this, you're cultivating the mental discipline to stay focused on what truly matters to you and your long-term growth. Remember, your time and energy are precious resources, so it's important to protect them. Focus on the things that bring you closer to your goals, and don't allow distractions to derail your progress. Now, let's address the issue of motivation. Motivation is something that comes and goes. It's natural. On some days, you'll feel fired up and ready to conquer the world. On other days, you might feel like giving up. The key is not to rely solely on motivation, but to build habits and routines that can keep you moving forward, even on the days when motivation is low. One of the most powerful Stoic techniques for staying motivated is the practice of visualizing obstacles. This is known as premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. Essentially, you prepare yourself mentally for the challenges and obstacles that you might face in the future. By thinking about possible setbacks ahead of time, you can approach them with a sense of calm and readiness when they do occur. For example, let's say you're working toward a goal of getting healthier, but you know that there will be days when you're tempted to skip workouts or indulge in unhealthy food. Instead of reacting emotionally when those challenges arise, visualize these obstacles in advance. Imagine yourself feeling tempted to skip your workout, but then visualize yourself choosing to push through and getting it done anyway. By visualizing these moments of difficulty and preparing for them, you strengthen your resolve to face them head-on. Endeavor to take the high road, regardless of traffic. Another Stoic tool that helps with motivation is the practice of focusing on what you can control. In life, many things are beyond our control, but we have the power to choose our response to them. When things don't go as planned, remind yourself that you are in control of your mindset, your actions, and your efforts. Instead of focusing on external circumstances, focus on doing your best in every situation, no matter what happens around you. Finally, let's talk about celebrating your progress. Motivation isn't just about pushing forward relentlessly. It's also about acknowledging your achievements along the way. Remember, self-compassion, and celebrating even the small wins can keep you motivated in the long run. When you hit a milestone, whether it's hitting a fitness goal, completing a project, or simply sticking to your daily habits for a week, take a moment to acknowledge your hard work, reflect on how far you've come, and celebrate your growth. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." So make sure to cultivate positive, constructive thoughts and give yourself credit for the progress you've made. Acknowledging your efforts not only keeps you motivated, but it also reinforces the positive habits you've built. As we wrap up, here are the final takeaways for this journey. Track your progress regularly. Use journaling or self-reflection to evaluate your growth and stay accountable. Stay focused on your goals by saying no to distractions and managing your attention. Don't rely on motivation alone. Build habits and routines that keep you going even when motivation is low. Visualize obstacles ahead of time and prepare mentally for challenges. Celebrate your small wins and acknowledge your progress to stay motivated. Your journey to self-improvement through Stoicism is just beginning. Stay consistent, keep reflecting, and most importantly, trust the process. As the Stoics taught, every step, every effort, every challenge is part of the path to becoming the best version of yourself. Thank you for joining us at Stoic Mindset Philosophy. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with those who can benefit from it. We post videos like this every day, so stay tuned for more wisdom on how to live a life of purpose, resilience, and growth.